What is up, stationeers? I am Some Guy, Some Game, and I'm back at my starter base here to go ahead and show you what I've been up to and maybe a few other things too, a couple tips. So I've got a good part of it done over here. If you can't tell, it looks a little bit different than the last video. This is underneath the base. It is a little dark, but this is also a good time to highlight the fact that this is what glass is really good for, actually, is I don't need to put multiple lights all over the place. You put some glass floors down like this, a light above or probably even below would shine up. I haven't tried that one yet, but it it makes it much easier for you here. So that way you don't have to put lights everywhere, flip them on, run your power. So that is handy. So keep that in mind when you're making a base. Maybe put a glass panel or two in, that way you can get some sunlight and some transfer some other light too. So, and when the sun comes up here, you'll see how I got that set up too. So I got some light coming into the base. That way I don't have to worry about turning on lights all day and having it dark all the time. So, all right, I'm down here underneath. Now I have this area sealed off now, but I'll show you that here in just a second. But my stuff's been printing out. I went ahead and got me some pipe around and ready for my last few things I need to get hooked up. Mostly the water intake, well, outtake, I guess, output. I'm going to run that up into the base here, but wanted to go ahead and show you what I'd done over here first before I do that. Now, this video I may or may not add in a cut or two, so I'm just giving you a heads up on that. Don't be surprised if one pops in abruptly or something. I try to keep the content on, and sometimes, you know, I don't always, I ramble on like I'm doing right now, and I might cut that out, you know, so keep that in mind, that if you see an abrupt cut, sorry about that. I'm still a little bit I'm still not the greatest at editing. I'm trying to get things to look nicer and sound nicer, so alright, let's move on into here. Now, this is, I didn't feel like finishing the other airlock. I'm going to head inside the base here in a second, and you'll see what I've done, but this is kind of just my janky airlock for now. This works really good, actually, as long as you're diligent and making sure you're closing the doors. But all I did was, I'm going to power that too. You know, it's coming. It's coming. Still a work in progress around here, but currently, if you look in the top corner, you can see there's zero pressure in here because, well, I was just out, had it open to a vacuum, so that's expected. But all right, I got a little bit of pressure into the base, so we're going to see a tiny bit come into here. But I want to go ahead and show you how this works, actually. All I did was just ran a vent from here with the passive vent there. So flip this on, it's going to vacuum out everything in here. Let me close this and show you. And it's going to sit here and vacuum out this entire area. Now I have my handy dandy atmosphere analyzer in my hand here, showing you what the current KPA is and just how easy this works. So when you want to open up your manufacturing area, which is nice to do when you're building a bunch of stuff, so I can come in here, no problem, just flip this on, suction all the air out, and then you're good to go. You can open up your, now if I had this powered, this would be a lot easier to demonstrate, but you know, open it up and you can sit here and drop your resources out, run in here, grab what you need, and you don't have to worry about exposing the rest of your base to the cold, harsh vacuum of space. So it's nifty, it's handy to do, and you know, I wanted this open because it's kind of a bummer, you know, if you're manufacturing stuff, not being able to get access to it without having to run in and out of the side of the main airlock. So as long as you're making sure you're vacuuming the air out of this room, you'll be just fine. So alright, I'm going to go ahead and move in here. I also wanted to show you, if you're having problems at the beginning, like say you want to get those crops up right away, you do not have to build the entire base and get all this stuff going. All you need to do, actually, I got that door shut, everything's shut. Alright, let's open this back up. Now, all you really need to do is pressurize the main greenhouse area right here. And to do that, you know, you just want to seal off. Currently, I have one airlock open, one closed on this side. I don't have the airlock finished, so... But you know, you just need an area sealed off, and then to get your CO2, it's pretty simple, actually. You know, your base is, or your inside your base, once it's all sealed off, if you melt some of the oxide, you're going to get your oxygen and your nitrogen, and you know, your waste gas from inside your suit is actually going to be CO2, because that's what your filter is, and you know, that's what your waste is from the processes of breathing. So if you need a little bit in the air, which you do to grow some crops to begin with, just go ahead and come into your base, make sure it's sealed off, melt some oxide, get your pressure up to, you know, maybe 30, 50 kPa, wherever you're happy with, and then just, well, I'm going to go ahead and show you here before I open it up. We got 90% O2 and 10% nitrogen. So, not, it's fine for breathing, just fine, but crops need a little bit of CO2, so let's go ahead and turn this off for a second. Open this up. And this is just the waste tank gas from my backpack, so. Alright, I'm going to close that off just to make sure if I need it again. I don't have that open, but now let's check and see what we got in here. Bingo. 8% CO2, so we're good to go to cook some crops. So I don't recommend cooking them, actually. You know, whatever works best for you, I suppose, but you know, you might want to grow them first before you cook them. Just a tip there for you. But all right, and that's it. And you can do that right away if you're worried about you know, not dying of starvation. This would be a great way to avoid that. So just make yourself a nice little sealed area with a bunch of windows, and melt some oxide, and and go ahead and open up your waste tank inside here when you need to, and you got some CO2. So just keep that in mind if you need to. But that's another tip I wanted to give you for surviving. That'd probably be your best way of surviving, especially if you're going to leave your hunger all the way up. So I haven't quite finished everything here in the base yet. I've got most of it sealed off. Obviously it's pressurized, so I don't got leaks anywhere. I went ahead and tested that, and that's everything seems to be looking good here. I haven't got this all hooked up yet, but this is just going to be a simple oxygen fill area, and I'll probably have this set up so I can vent my air conditioner, and that way I don't have to worry about that venting into the base or anything. So, but I'll show that here later. Anything I'm not showing now is going to come in the next video, which is probably going to be the finishing video on this series area type, you know, this base. I might work on it a little bit more. I don't know. I'm not making any promises, but for now, the plan is probably to do one more video to finish this up. So I will show you anything in that video I haven't covered in this one yet. But this one is sealed off over here now too. And I went ahead and tried to put all of my, actually I think I have all of it in here. So I can control everything from inside the base without having to run outside. You know, I have my nitrogen and oxygen filters in here, my CO2 filter right here, and my water filter right here. And if you can see that light from the sun and the light from the light up there is coming down in here really nice for me. You know, that's another advantage of excuse me, that's another advantage of having these little sunlight. You know, you can let it shine through, letting these little windows come up through here. So not only do they look a little bit nifty, but they also allow some light into your base, so you don't have to worry about flipping on other lights all the time. So alright, let's head back out here. I got all my machines in here. This is hooked up and working pretty good. I haven't had any issues with it so far. I won't promise you everything's going to work amazingly smooth, but so far for me it's actually been really good. So everything I've printed's come out and went down. I think I had an issue with one object and it shot out there, but honestly I haven't had an issue since. So I don't know if I had the glass in or I didn't have the glass in at the time, but it seems to be working really good now, so I'm not complaining. And right here I went ahead and put my batteries and my solar panels in. I have this set up so I can sit inside the base and see where my power's at, so I don't have to run outside all the time or, you know, guess or try to hook up a fancy digital monitor or something. I can just walk over here and look and see what's going on. And that brings it all up. This base is all about trying to keep it simple and easy for you without doing a bunch of fancy stuff. I'm not, you know, I'm not a whiz at all that kind of stuff, which I like it to keep it simple, so that's what I'm trying to show you here. Now let me go ahead and vacuum out this room again real quick. And I'm going to go ahead and probably mess with this stuff a little bit. I might put in a pressure sensor so we can see where that's at without pulling out a handheld and stuff here. But alright, what are we looking at? And you know, you don't have to be super exact with this. You know, the more you save, the better, I suppose, but you know, it's really up to you. If you can let a little bit of this, leave a little bit of air in here, it ain't going to hurt you. So let me get my crowbar out so I can open this back up so I can show you what's been going on outside here. Nothing too exciting, but I went ahead and added in a little bit of a catwalk up here to make this nice and accessible. And varying, you know, this is all going to vary in your area a little bit. You know, I had the terrain right here that made this work out okay. So, oh, there you go. See, I always back into a hole when I'm looking at stuff. So backing into holes is probably one of the biggest hazards I've had, especially when I'm building and walking around the base like this, and then I'll just kind of, yeah, I don't want to do that. I'll probably fall into one I'm trying to show you. So, alright, I got the furnace area looking a little bit nicer too. We got a light over here. That's always great to have. I probably should have that off. I bet you got some iron sitting out here. Yeah, I do. I probably should grab that. So, this has all been hooked up. I'm going to pull some of this apart in the next video once I get everything situated, but pretty much it's pretty simple. I just got the pipes running into here, which is going into my pressure regulator, which is right there inside the base. The airlock area is going to be here, so this will be sealed off, but currently I don't have the airlock done, and I don't know, I'm not in a hurry to get it done. So, but this area is still about the same. Catwalk through here leads to here. Over here I went ahead and got the batteries hooked up. They're wired down the side. I can go ahead and make that a little bit nicer. Maybe in time I'll get that, but for now I'm happy with it. It's powering my base, and if you look, oh, if I jump there, you can see my panels facing the wrong direction because I haven't done the logic yet. I am going to get to that though. If you haven't seen the other logic video I've done, I'm going to put it into probably the next video on this one. So I'm going to get that hooked up and I'll show how I did that, run over that again briefly. So it's not hard, but honestly I'm getting a decent amount of power just from manually turning them every once in a while. So I'm not complaining. It's charging up okay. So, and I got some nice lovely stairs running down here. So I really like the way this all turned out. I'm pretty happy with it, to be honest. I think it's a simple, easy base. Like my initial goal started out to be, it keeps everything here for you in compact little area without being too complicated. Or, you know, I don't know. I like the idea behind it, and I think it worked out pretty good. So hopefully you're going to like it too. Now, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to show you before I end this video. The furnace area here is still the same from the last video. I had the furnace lit not too long ago. It was working great for me, so I'm happy with the results. I suppose you don't need to have the little conveyor system shooting it out here. If you didn't have that, it would probably just fall to the ground here. But, you know, why not, I guess. I already built it, so I'm going to leave it here. But if, you know, you're doing a build like this or something, this is probably the main thing you would need, is just to have this, so you don't have to constantly do this or try to find the little spot that you need to aim at up here. You can just walk over here and toss everything you want in, so it's real nice. But alright, I don't want to ramble on too much. I'm still in the middle of cleaning up stuff. My area is pretty messy. I used the other APU. I still got to move that one, and I got to get this into my base, which that brings up another point real quick, is try to get this stuff in your base before you pressurize it and before you put in all your small doors, because wherever you're going to want this, it's going to be a lot easier for you to get it in sooner. So try to take that in, just throw it somewhere in the middle of your construction area, that way it's in there. And this area is a mess. It's kind of my junk pit. I don't know. There's some stuff in there important, so, but alright, well, I don't know what I'm trying to show you out here. So, oh, I need to get that hooked up too. That's another thing. Get your battery charger in and get that hooked up so you can do that. It makes it a lot easier on you too. I've been a little bit lazy with some of that stuff, so I haven't got it all in yet, but this is where all of my panels were and my other stuff. So I got everything in the base and running now. But okay, I think that's going to wrap it up for this video. And next one, I'm going to have my crops growing. I'm going to have a lot of this finished up. I might not have everything done yet, but it should be close. So, and I'm going to go ahead and rip stuff apart a little bit more for you if you need to know a little bit more about what's going on. Hopefully I've shown that already though, so you'll have the basic idea of what I've done and where I'm going with the rest of it here. So, alright, any questions, let me know, and if not, I will catch you on the next video.